In Mexico City, crime is at its peak, with some criminal groups kidnapping and extracting ransom from the wealthy. A man named John Creasy meets his old friend and colleague Paul Rayburn, a former CIA agent who now runs a company specializing in providing security to VIPs. The duo drink and party while they discuss their present life, which is very different from all the violence they committed in the past. Rayburn tells his friend about his well-settled life in Mexico and how he is happily married and has a business. On the other hand, Creasy has been unemployed ever since he left the CIA. Elsewhere, a Mexican businessman named Samuel Ramos talks with his lawyer, Jordan Kalfas. Samuel's wife, Lisa, expresses her concerns about the safety of their 9-year-old daughter, Lupita Pita Ramos. She wants her husband to hire a bodyguard for their daughter, but Samuel hesitates, hinting at their financial difficulties, as they had recently let go of their previous bodyguard. Kalfas reminds Samuel that they must hire a new bodyguard to renew their family's ransom insurance. He suggests speaking to Rayburn since he has a CIA background and is in the security business. When they contact Rayburn, he recommends his friend Creasy to help protect the family. However, when Rayburn asks Creasy to work as a bodyguard, he turns down the offer as he doesn't like socializing and has a drinking problem. However, after some convincing from his old friend, he decides to give it a shot. Creasy finally agrees and goes to Ramos's house for an interview. Mr. Ramos is impressed with Creasy's resume, which shows he's done great work fighting revolts and terrorism. However, Ramos is curious why Creasy, despite his impressive resume, is applying for a comparatively low-ranking job. Ramos reveals that to deal with his violent past, he drinks heavily, due to which he can't get any good jobs. Later, Creasy meets Lisa, who recognizes him as a fellow American and feels safe around him and welcomes him to his new job. Creasy meets Pita, who shows him around the house and his new room. From their first interaction, Pita seems to like her new bodyguard. Creasy doesn't want to be a bodyguard, especially for a kid, but needs a job. As he goes to drop Pete off at school, to his dislike, the young girl likes to talk a lot. She tells him that she is aware of all the kidnappings that have been happening. Creasy is less responsive to her questions, and he finally clears her that he is being paid to be her bodyguard and not a friend. Pete is hurt, and she stops talking to Creasy. When Creasy returns, he feels sad and considers leaving the job since he isn't sociable towards the family. Later that night, he even tries to end his life, but luckily his gun doesn't work. In this depressive state, Creasy calls Rayburn and tells him that his gun isn't working. However, Rayburn clears his misconception and tells him that it is not the gun that is not working, but it is the bullet that needs to be pointed at the right target. Over time, Creasy and Pete develop a nice bonding. As Pete's swimming tournament approaches, he accompanies her to the training sessions, where he notices that she starts slow due to the fear of the gunshot. Creasy helps her conquer her fear of starter pistols, training her mind and reflexes such that she uses her full potential and runs fast when she hears the gunshot. While Pete's parents are always away, Creasy fills in for them by advising and helping her with other things. She trains well and wins the swimming tournament. After the win, Creasy takes her to meet his friends Rayburn and his wife. Together, they celebrate the occasion as Pete's parents are absent. Pete gives Creasy a St. Jude emblem as a gift which she bought with her own money. One day, when he's dropping her off at a piano audition, Creasy notices a strange car and some police cars blocking the street. When Pete comes out and gets scared, Creasy uses his gun to make a loud noise, like a starter pistol, to trigger her reflexes and make her run away. A gunfight breaks out, and he shoots 4 attackers, including 2 corrupt cops. Creasy gets badly hurt and passes out, and the remaining kidnappers take Pete with them. The police chief publicly mocks Creasy while he's unconscious in the hospital, accusing him of killing the 2 police officers. Creasy is also blamed for being a part of Pete's kidnapping. Journalist Mariana Guerrero becomes suspicious because the officers were supposed to be off duty but were in uniform and driving squad cars. Her contact, Miguel Manzano from the federal police, bluntly tells her that the cops were corrupt. They plan to talk to Creasy once he's better. Even though Jordan Kalfas initially wants to exclude the police from negotiating Pete's release, the officers' deaths turn this into a police matter. Officer Victor Fuentes takes charge, assuring the family that Peta's safe return is likely if they follow his lead. Soon after, Sanchez calmly demands a $10 million ransom in exchange for Peta at their desired time and place. He also asks Ramos not to contact the police or get anyone involved, or else there would be consequences. While Ramos is told to go alone, Fuentes advises against it and accompanies him. Unfortunately, the drop goes wrong. A third party ambushes the kidnappers, and Ramos and Fuentes are forced to escape. An angry Sanchez blames Ramos for not following orders, which resulted in his nephew's death. He implies that Peta is now lost forever. Rayburn discovers Creasy in the hospital, who is hurt and currently under criminal charges. He assists him in escaping to a secure hideout till his recovery. Once Creasy is back in good health, he returns to Peta's home and makes a solemn vow to Lisa that he will eliminate everyone involved in the kidnapping or those who profited from it. Mariana Guerrero finds Creasy and offers her help, telling him she has information and can help him get revenge. With the aid of Guerrero and Manzano, Creasy uncovers the truth that the corrupt police officers are part of a formidable criminal organization known as La Hermandad, which translates to the Brotherhood. Creasy proceeds to abduct and interrogate several members of the mafia group, forcing them to disclose the identities of those involved in the kidnapping, including Fuentes. With Guerrero's assistance, Creasy learns that Fuentes is traveling through the city. He sets up a strategic position in a hotel room, and by using a rocket launcher, he disables the armored vehicles escorting Fuentes' limousine. He then descends to the streets to confront the remaining guards. In an extended gunfight, Creasy employs advanced guerrilla tactics and successfully gets hold of the limousine, capturing Fuentes. During the interrogation, Fuentes admits that he attacked the drop point due to his involvement in many similar operations, believing it to be an easy source of income. However, the bags stolen from the drop contained only $2.5 million, a fraction of the ransom. Fuentes pleads for mercy, claiming he is a hired professional, just like Creasy. Disgusted by Fuentes' actions, Creasy discloses that he implanted an explosive inside Fuentes while he was unconscious, and it is set to detonate in 5 minutes. As Creasy walks away, Fuentes spends his last moments screaming in terror until the explosive ultimately ends his life. Creasy discovers another $2.5 million linked to Calfus, the lawyer, and visits Calfus at his home. There, he finds Calfus's lifeless body floating in the pool. Creasy goes to Ramos' house and asks Lisa if she knows about the truth. Lisa stands there clueless until Ramos finally confesses everything to his wife. He reveals that financial troubles led them to make a dangerous plan. Calfus suggested faking Peta's kidnapping to cash in on insurance money. Calfus organized most of the scheme, assuring Ramos that Peta would be safe watching cartoons in a hideout for a few hours. But things took a dark turn when Fuentes became too greedy. Ramos blamed Calfus and had him killed. Lisa feels betrayed and asks Creasy to kill her husband, or she will. Creasy leaves a pistol, the same one he once used for his suicide attempt, and a single bullet on the table, echoing Rayburn's wisdom about bullets finding their deserving targets. After Creasy and Lisa depart, Ramos uses the gun. While Creasy continues pursuing Sanchez, Manzano's men track him through their contacts. Guerrero plans to publish Sanchez's photo in the newspaper but is assaulted by a gang member who threatens her that if she publishes, she will be killed. Despite the threat, Guerrero still publishes the photo in the newspaper. The photo has the headline "Tengo el Miedo." Fear has a voice, since Sanchez and the kidnappers were known as The Voice in Mexico City because they were always contacted through phones and never showed their faces. Creasy locates Sanchez's brother Aurelio's apartment and gains entry. Aurelio injures Creasy in the chest, but Creasy pursues him. Aurelio attempts to flee in a bus, but Creasy wounds him, causing a collision with a large truck. Creasy takes Aurelio back to his apartment and captures Sanchez's 8-month pregnant wife, Reina. He subjects Aurelio to torture and compels Reina to contact Sanchez, who eventually calls back. Creasy is determined to eliminate Sanchez, but Sanchez discloses that Peta is still alive, proposing a deal. He'll release her if Creasy surrenders himself and spares Aurelio. Creasy reluctantly agrees and takes Lisa to a remote rural location for the exchange. Peeta is released as she runs to the bridge and hugs Creasy. The two profess their affection to each other. Later, as Peeta reunites with her mother, Creasy and Aurelio drive away in a car. Tragically, Creasy succumbs to his gunshot wound in the back seat, dropping the St. Jude emblem that Peeta had given him. Later that day, Monzano takes out Sanchez during a police raid.
Do comment us to let us know about these. How was the story? But we're not done yet. There's more to come, more episodes to dissect, more stories to tell. So, if you enjoyed our journey through this episode, show some love. Hit that like button, share the fun with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting recaps. Don't forget to tap that bell icon so you never miss an update. Thank you for joining us on this exhilarating ride. Until next time, keep the popcorn ready, keep the suspense alive, and stay tuned for our next recap.